Let me ask you a question. If I would say something related to AI can become the new millionaire printer, what would that be?
Maybe chips?
That's a good answer. Actually, it was cheap, but the thing is that now this bottleneck shifts from chips to power. Imagine that, if you have a ton of money and you want chips, it's very easy, just order from NVIDIA. Maybe a year or two you can get the chips, right? But now the new bottleneck go from chips to power. Why? Because initially if you order chips, you may get it within a year or two, but the power does not behave like that. New transmission line can take 5 to 10 years. Grid interconnection process can be like 18 to 36 months just for studies, and longer even in those congested areas. Transformers have a long lead time, permitting is very slow, right off the way negotiations are low, and most steps are sequential, not parallel. Even though you have money, you have to wait one thing done and then go to the next step. It's a sequential. So even if you have GPUs, without the power, they are basically expensive paperweights. This is why hyperscalers are saying the same thing in different kinds of words. They can build data centers faster than they can power them. So that changes the game. If you think this logic is decent and intriguing, please subscribe. You will receive weekly deep thinking videos on investing.
So what's a moat for power? Many factories can produce power.
Okay, I tell you the very simple thing, which is that time is the moat. Here's a quick insight. The grid development, the critical constraint isn't effort, it's the queue. You have to follow a line, right? To connect a large new data center load to the grid, you don't just plug in like you plug in a computer, you apply. You enter the queue. You wait for impact studies, and then you wait for facility studies, and you negotiate upgrade cost. Then you wait for construction and testing, and finally you energize. So in this case, time is actually the moat, and you can buy your way out of that queue. You know the Magnificent Seven, the money is not the issue, but simply you cannot buy out of that queue. Money doesn't help you to skip the study. Money does not let you to jump ahead of somebody else, right? You have to wait. And the money does not let you to parallelize those steps. You have to go sequential. So the competitive advantage or the moat becomes brutally simple. The company that started years ago have years of progress you can recreate today with money. And then there's something called the commitment stack. There are 3 layers. The layer 1 is that the enterprises commit to hyperscalers. Larger companies, they don't just try AI casually at a scale. They sign multi-year cloud agreement. They commit to the minimum spend, and they move massive amount of data sets into the ecosystem where the switching cost becomes enormous. So that's called data gravity. You don't change very often. The hyperscalers, once they get the commitment from the enterprise, they commit to operators, and the operator commit to the physical build. So that's the 3 layers. And what's more important is that time as a moat will eventually go on a flywheel. So the contract unlocks capital, and the capital unlocks scale. Let's do a mental experiment. A 15-year agreement with a strong counterparty turns a developer into a bankable infrastructure asset overnight. That company get that 15-year agreement. Eventually, that becomes a very valuable asset because of the cash flow, right? So the lender aren't underwriting that operator's story. They are underwriting the company's obligation, right? So the loops becomes the contracts unlock financing. Financing enables construction. Construction enables delivery. Once you deliver the contract, that proves your execution. Then the proven execution wins more contract, and that the flywheel keep going. So once you are ahead of the time, you have the moat, and then you are entering into that flywheel. You will win always.
Why some nuclear companies such as Oklo has so high valuation even though it has no revenue?
That's a very good question. So actually, in terms of AI power company, there are 2 types. One is speculative, the other is operator-based. So for the speculative company like Oklo, they have zero revenue, they are on PowerPoint, and have many execution risk ahead. They have a high evaluation. On the other hand, operators with billions of signed agreement, they are traded at lower evaluations because their story are different type. So for speculative company, for example, Oklo, they build up a story which you cannot test it as a false, right? If they do not get any revenue this quarter, they say, okay, we are building the future, right? So the price cannot go down. But for operative ones, they have a signed agreement. If the Q1, their signed agreement or backlog are low, then the stock price going down. That's being tested every single quarter.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and actually you say, okay, those traditional power company eventually have a relatively lower evaluation, but I do see some missing opportunity. One of them is called the category error. So why does the missing price exist? Because the category determines the price. If a market still see a company as a crypto company, it gets priced like a crypto. If it gets analyzed at the real estate data center, then it gets evaluated on the wrong metrics. The good news is that a lot of the companies that I'm going to talk about is mispriced. They are originally a crypto company because they have the power to power the crypto mining. And recently they are shifted as AI Power company. So they are mispriced. They are still analyzed with people with a crypto mindset. So that's why they are undervalued.
How about give us some tickers?
Okay, I don't typically want to give you tickers because that may make you think that I'm asking you to buy those companies. I have to say that these are the tickers for you to initiate your study. You start with this company, study their history, their current financials, their visions for you to study. This is not a financial advice. So first is APLD, Applied Digital. I put this company as the first because it's a reference case. So among the 7 operators I'm going to introduce in this thesis, they have the most developed position. They have 2 campuses, 2 hyperscaler customers, 600 megawatt contract, and approximately 16 billion in total contract value over 15 years. And the only facility already delivering power. So you have to keep an eye on the Applied Digital to see whether the story is true, that other company can go in the same path. The other one is GLXY, Galaxy Digital. Galaxy Digital is infrastructure hiding in a crypto company. Among the 7 operators I'm going to introduce, Galaxy has the earliest timing advantage and the largest expansion runway, but also the most severe category error, suppressing its valuation. It's currently evaluated as a crypto company, but actually it's already becoming an AI power company. I'll give you the rest of the ticker here as a homework for your study. CIFR, WULF, RIOT, IREN, MBIS. So please study yourself. Do your homework. I think you will enjoy it.
Anything else?
This video is actually based on a website called Follow the Whats. So they introduced this logic. I find this very interesting, so I shared it to you. In my mind, I think the solution in the long run, 5 to 10 years, is in the space. So I would rather invest SpaceX, Rocket Lab, Redwire, those companies. I've done decent amount of study. I think in the long run, the power solution for AI is in the space. So do your homework just like I did mine. I will see you next time.